Hello and welcome to another episode of the SRS Podcast, Unmasking the World of Specialist Cleaning. I'm your host, and today we're delving into a topic that might just change the way you look at house clearance forever. Now, I know what you're thinking. House clearance, how complicated can that be? You pack up the belongings, clear out the junk, and move on, right? But what happens when that house contains hidden dangers you can't even see? Imagine a property that's been left untouched for years. Maybe it's an old estate with crumbling walls or a flat that's been through a tragic event. And what if during the clearance you discover asbestos hidden in the building's fabric, or worse, a biohazard like bodily fluids or infectious waste? These aren't just inconveniences, they're serious hazards that require professional expertise to handle safely and legally. In today's episode, titled When House Clearance Meets Hazards, we'll take you behind the scenes of these challenging situations. We'll explore how specialist remediation solutions, or SRS, steps in to tackle these complex jobs with precision, compassion, and compliance. We'll be discussing real-world stories, the tools and techniques involved, and the regulations that govern this critical work here in the UK. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand why professional intervention is essential, but also gain a new appreciation for the incredible work that goes into making these spaces safe again. So, whether you're a property owner, landlord, duty holder, or just someone curious about the hidden complexities of specialist cleaning, this episode is for you. Let's get started. Let's begin with the basics. What exactly are we talking about when we mention asbestos remediation or biohazard cleaning? These are specialized services that address two very different but equally serious types of hazards. First, asbestos remediation. Asbestos was once hailed as a miracle material, heat-resistant, strong, and affordable. It was used in everything from insulation to floor tiles in buildings constructed before the year 2000. But then came the grim realization: asbestos exposure causes severe, often fatal diseases like mesothelioma and asbestosis. The UK government banned asbestos in 1999, but it still lingers in countless older properties. This is where SRS comes in. Their team conducts detailed surveys to identify asbestos, uses licensed techniques to remove or encapsulate it, and ensures every step complies with the Control of Asbestos Regulations 2012 and Health and Safety Executive, or HSE, guidelines. Now, on to biohazard cleaning. This is the side of specialist cleaning that deals with the aftermath of traumatic or high-risk events. Think post-death cleaning, trauma scenes, or infectious disease decontamination. These aren't jobs you can handle with a bottle of bleach and a mop. Biohazard cleaning requires advanced disinfectants, odor neutralizers, and a deep understanding of microbiology. But more than that, it requires compassion. Imagine walking into a space where tragedy is unfolded. The team at SRS approaches these situations with sensitivity, respecting the dignity of those affected while restoring the environment to a safe, habitable state. Why are these services so important? Beyond the obvious health risks, there are legal and societal implications. Mishandling asbestos or biohazards can lead to hefty fines, environmental damage, and most importantly, endanger lives. It's not just about compliance, it's about responsibility. And that's why professionals like SRS are indispensable. All right, now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive deeper. Coming up, real-world stories that bring these challenges to life. To truly understand the importance of asbestos remediation and biohazard cleaning, let's look at some real-world examples. These stories highlight the challenges, stakes, and human impact of this work. Case study 1, a 1960s office building refurbishment. Imagine a business owner excited to revitalize an outdated office space. But as the renovation begins, asbestos is discovered in the ceiling tiles and pipe insulation. The project comes to a halt. Enter SRS. Their team conducts a thorough asbestos survey and designs a removal plan that minimizes disruption. Using negative pressure units and air monitoring equipment, they safely remove the asbestos, ensuring the space is compliant and ready for modern use. The result: a revitalized office and peace of mind for everyone involved. Case study 2, a tragic trauma scene. This one's a bit more emotional. A landlord discovers a flat where a tragedy has occurred. It's not just about cleaning, it's about restoring the space with care and respect. SRS arrives with specialized equipment and a compassionate approach. They use advanced disinfectants to eliminate pathogens, odor neutralizers to address lingering smells, and work discreetly to protect the privacy of those affected. By the end, the flat is not only safe, but also feels like a fresh start for future tenants. Case study 3, a contaminated warehouse. Picture a large industrial warehouse slated for demolition. During the planning, asbestos is found in the roofing materials, and biohazards, including rodent droppings, are discovered in the storage areas. It's a double challenge. SRS steps in with a multidisciplinary team. They encapsulate and remove the asbestos, decontaminate the biohazard zones, and ensure all waste is disposed of in compliance with UK regulations. The demolition proceeds without a hitch, and the site is cleared for redevelopment. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg. Each one underscores the expertise, dedication, and humanity that SRS brings to their work. Now let's talk about the how behind these operations. How do professionals safely and effectively handle asbestos and biohazards? It all comes down to the right tools, techniques, and safety protocols. For asbestos, it starts with air monitoring. This ensures that asbestos fibers aren't being released into the air during removal. Containment strategies are key here. Think of it as creating a bubble around the hazardous area. Negative pressure units are used to ensure that no contaminated air escapes the workspace. And then there are the HEPA vacuums, high efficiency particulate air vacuums designed to trap microscopic fibers. Every step of the process is meticulously planned and executed to comply with UK regulations. For biohazard cleaning, the approach is equally rigorous but tailored to the specific risks. Advanced disinfectants are used to neutralize harmful pathogens. These aren't your everyday cleaning products. They're scientifically formulated to destroy bacteria, viruses, and fungi at a microscopic level. Odor neutralizers come into play to tackle any lingering smells, especially in trauma or post-death scenarios. And of course, personal protective equipment, or PPE, is non-negotiable. Gloves, masks, and full-body suits are worn to protect the cleaning team and prevent cross-contamination. Risk assessments are another critical component. Before any work begins, the team conducts a thorough evaluation to identify potential hazards and plan accordingly. Waste disposal is handled with the utmost care, ensuring that all hazardous materials are transported and disposed of in compliance with environmental regulations. These processes might sound technical, and they are, but they're also incredibly important. They're what keep the team safe, protect the environment, and ensure the job is done right. So what's the science behind all this? Why is it so important to handle these materials professionally? Let's start with asbestos. Asbestos fibers are incredibly small, hundreds of times thinner than a human hair. When inhaled, these fibers can lodge in the lungs and cause long-term damage. Over time, this can lead to serious diseases like mesothelioma, a type of cancer, or asbestosis, a chronic lung condition. The damage is irreversible, which is why professional removal is so crucial. Every fiber counts. For biohazards, it's all about microbiology. Pathogens like bacteria and viruses thrive in environments we often overlook. Think about a trauma scene. Blood and bodily fluids can harbor harmful microorganisms. If not cleaned properly, these pathogens can spread, posing a risk to anyone who enters the space. The disinfectants used in biohazard cleaning work at a molecular level to break down and destroy these microorganisms, ensuring the space is truly safe. Then there's the chemistry of odor neutralizers. These products don't just mask bad smells, they break down the molecules causing the odor. It's a scientific approach to creating a clean, fresh environment. Science isn't just a backdrop here, it's at the core of everything SRS does. Their methods are grounded in research and innovation, ensuring the highest standards of safety and effectiveness. Now that we've explored the details, let's take a step back and reflect. What broader lessons can we draw from the work SRS does? Beyond the science and the tools and the regulations, there are universal themes that resonate with all of us. First, there's the importance of preparation. Hazards like asbestos and biohazards don't announce themselves. They're often hidden, lying in wait until someone unknowingly stumbles upon them. That's why being proactive is so critical. Regular surveys, risk assessments, and understanding your legal responsibilities can save time, money, and most importantly, lives. Second, compassion plays a huge role in this work. Biohazard cleaning in particular often involves entering spaces where people have experienced loss or trauma. It's not just about cleaning, it's about restoring dignity and providing peace of mind. The team at SRS understands this, and it's reflected in every step they take. And finally, compliance. Regulations like the Control of Asbestos Regulations 2012 aren't just bureaucratic hurdles, they're safeguards designed to protect people and the environment. By adhering to these standards, SRS ensures that their work doesn't just solve immediate problems, but also prevents future ones. For anyone listening who owns or manages property, these lessons are a call to action. Don't wait for a hazard to become a crisis. Be proactive, seek professional help when needed, and remember that safety and compliance are investments in the well-being of everyone involved. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Let's recap what we've covered. We explored the hidden dangers of house clearance, from asbestos lurking in old buildings to the emotional and technical challenges of biohazard cleaning. We delved into the tools, techniques, and science that make this work possible and reflected on the broader lessons of preparation, compassion, and compliance. At SRS, our mission is clear: to create safer, healthier spaces with professionalism and care. Whether it's removing hazardous asbestos fibers or restoring dignity to a space affected by tragedy, our work is rooted in a commitment to safety and excellence. If you found today's episode insightful, please subscribe, share it with someone who might benefit, and visit us at srssolutions.uk for more resources and information. Let's work together to tackle these challenges and create a safer world for everyone. Until next time, stay safe and take care. Thanks for listening to the SRS Podcast, Unmasking the World of Specialist Cleaning. Goodbye for now.